have you taken probiotics before and experienced problems like you feel like your heart's racing, it makes you anxious? Some people will say they get nauseous. It's more almost like allergy type reactions. They have itchy, watery eyes, runny nose, these sorts of reactions. What might be going on is you're most likely having a histamine reaction. I want to explain in this video how that's happening and some things at the end of the video that you can do about it. So as far as histamine goes, you've probably heard of histamine. It's a natural neurotransmitter in your body. It's one of your main neurotransmitters. It's involved in responses in your gastrointestinal tract. It's also part of your immune system, so it is very important. We want some in our bodies. The problem is we have to control it, and one of the ways we control it is with an enzyme in our body called DAO, that's diamine oxidase. It helps break it down. Now, here's where the problems start. Most people, obviously, if you're taking a probiotic, you have gut issues, but we do know that some people, particularly in something like SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, those sorts of people, when you have gut problems, your DAO that breaks down histamine and helps your mast cells, that's produced primarily in your gut. So if you have gut problems, you're probably not producing enough DAO. So when you do that, you're going to have difficulty breaking down the histamine that's produced in your body or that you're getting from your food, which types of foods I'll get to in a second. But back to DAO, there are other things that you can be consuming in your diet that may also decrease DAO outside of just gut conditions. For example, if you drink alcohol, it can decrease DAO. So can black and green tea as well as energy drinks. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, what sort of foods can increase histamine? We know that a lot of fermented foods, for example, sauerkraut or even wine, again, we're coming back to alcohol, can kind of be a double whammy with this stuff. Those things can increase histamine. Aged cheeses, processed meats, even things like avocados. Let me point out, this does not mean that these foods are bad. A lot of the great things about the fermented foods is they can give you a probiotic effect in your gut. But again, your body is all about balance, okay? If you have gut issues and you're adding these things in and you don't have good DAO function, you're going to create imbalance, all right? So again, these are still good foods, but we have to be thinking about balance. The other thing that becomes problematic with probiotics causing these issues is that there are certain strains of probiotics. Now, the research is kind of early and we're discovering more and more about this, but there are certain strains of probiotics that can actually increase histamine. A couple of examples is the lactobacillus family. Not all of them, just a couple that we know of, Bulgaricus and Casei, are a couple of strains that we believe can potentially increase histamine, which can be problematic for people. Now, there also are strains that we think lower histamine. Some of those are the bifidobacterium strains. There are others. I'm not going to do a complete list on those. But when you take probiotics, you have to understand the point of this video is that histamine can come into play if you're eating foods that are high in histamine and your body isn't able to break down that histamine with your DAO function, and then you add in a probiotic that's going to bump histamine up even more. It can cause those problems. Now, how do you fix that? Huge topic. Gut health is a huge topic. But one of the first things you probably want to look is at the type of probiotic that you're taking and maybe move towards one that is lower on that spectrum, let's say, of producing histamine. And you also want to look at, are you doing things that's going to make it hard for your body to break down histamine? Are you consuming a lot of these foods that can be problematic from a histamine perspective early on? So those are a few things to think about. Let me know in the comments, guys, if any other topics you want me to cover, if you've experienced this with probiotics before. I appreciate your guys' feedback. I know other people that watch the video appreciate hearing your story as well. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thank you.